Hey guys, and welcome to Vegan Beauty Girl. Today we are going to be talking lipsticks, and we're going to be doing a bit of a haul slash review of my pretty big vegan lipstick collection. I think we all have that beauty product we just cannot buy enough of, and for me that is lipsticks. I am a sucker for it. I love a big variety of lipsticks, but I feel like my preferred shades kind of teeter towards like reds and browns. Sorry, I've already been swatching, but yeah, I tend to go for the reds and the browns, sometimes a bit of a sultry purple, but not as much on the nude side of things, but I do have a few of those as well to share with you guys. I will be going through kind of the brands, the shades, my reviews, what ingredients they use, their ethics, you know, all the stuff we usually go through. It's quite weird filming right now. It is like coronavirus central, so it's quite freaky and it feels like the world's kind of ending, and I'm on here talking about lipsticks, but hopefully this is like a long distant memory by the time you guys are watching this. But yeah, I do have a lot of brands to show you guys, from the very affordable, cheap, high street shop brands to the more bougie luxury lipsticks. So yeah, I did just ask on Instagram what you guys would like covered in this video, and M&A from work, which should be sassy, and recommends that I reviewed their scents. I've lost my sense of smell. It's part of the corona outbreak. It's worrying. But other things include dryness. So some of you guys want to avoid lipsticks that really dry out your lips. You want to know whether or not they are long lasting, even through food and drink, and whether or not they're moisturizing or drying again. And then also how long they stay on, the price and the formula. So will it give you flaky lips and stuff like that. So these are all definitely things I want to cover in this video, and I'm definitely doing the price point as well, because I know that is a big impact. Prices may change, they're roughly going to stay the same, so I'm going to share with you guys the price as of now when I'm filming, but as I say, that can change. I'm already wearing a shade from MUA, but it was a limited edition one. This one was part of their Glow collection last summer. MUA worked really hard in 2019 to reformulate everything to become vegan, and they launched this before the whole lipstick collection became vegan, but now all their lipsticks are vegan, including some really lovely £1.50 lipsticks. But yeah, I won't spend much time talking about this one just because it was limited edition. So MUA are super affordable. You can find them in Superdrug, and here is my favourite shade of theirs. This is the matte lipstick. It is in the shade Mystic, and I used to wear this pretty much daily to work. It was just a really easy to wear shade. This one is a matte finish, which I've just found meant that it's been really long lasting, and it does have quite that like kind of dry finish, but I don't find that it dehydrates my lips, but nor does it hydrate them. I really love this shade. I think it is so pretty and easy to wear and just very flattering. It's got really good staying power. I would find that I would need to reapply it after I've had a hot drink or after I've had a meal, but it's a £1.50 lipstick. But beyond that, if I'm just drinking water, just getting on my day, I don't find that I need to reapply it, and I'm really impressed with the long life of these products. I think if you are buying a lipstick under a tenner and you just want something that is good quality, I think they are incredible. So considering I think you get the same quality from lipstick that costs £8 as one that costs £1.50, I really would recommend going for the £1.50 MUA lipsticks. Next up we have this shade TLC from MUA, which I was gifted. It isn't a shade I'd probably buy myself because it is very nude. I always get compliments when I wear this as well. It's like, it's a very easy to wear nude. It is just really gorgeous. I think you can see that my fake tan's kind of like fading, so I'm a little paler now than I usually am. It's like the final day of the week, so later today I'm going to be like scrubbing it off and then giving myself a fresh new layer, and I'll look lovely and tanned again. But I really like this shade when I am a little bit more paler, and I'm really liking how it kind of like brightens my face. I do get a lot of compliments with this. I think I just normally prefer something a bit bolder and darker and whatever, but this shade actually does really suit me, and it suits a lot of people. I know a lot of people love this shade, so I do recommend that one, and it's also £1.50, but this one is satin, so it's got a lot more of a glossier finish, but it's still super long lasting. I don't feel like I've ever noticed too much of a difference between how long they last. I think you would really be stunned by the quality of these lipsticks for just £1.50, and they feel lovely on the lips as well. I think normally that's what I expect from a lipstick that's a bit cheaper. I think that it's going to feel really sticky and weird or dry or whatever, but nope, it's just a really lovely lipstick. They also have these velvet matte lipsticks, which have the really cool shape to them. These ones are a little bit more expensive. I think the others are £1.50 and these are £3, so it's still not like breaking the bank. And the idea is you're meant to be able to draw them on really well. Hey, I think this was also a gifted shade. It's not really the sort of shade for me, but it still looks really nice. It's got a really strong pigmented finish. It's not my shade. It's not something I'm comfortable really wearing, and I don't feel like I need the extra precision application. I quite like my lipstick to be a bit more smudged and rough. If this is your sort of look, I think it is a great lipstick. It is a little bit drying. I'd say this one would be a lot more long lasting than the other ones though. Do you know what, the longer I wear it, the more I like it. I feel like if I were really tanned, I'd really like to wear this on an evening in the summer, but sadly that is not my reality right now. MUA also do some really gorgeous lip liners, which I really recommend going to check out as well if you're looking to bulk up your lip liner collection. They also have some nice lip glosses. They've just got a lot of really actually good quality products, which are 100% vegan. They're a 100% vegan brand, and they're at a low price point, so I really do recommend going to check them out. And if you can get into Superdrug, you can like swatch the shades on your hands as well. Next up, let's look at Axiology. They are a clean beauty brand who are 100% vegan and cruelty free, and also palm oil free, and they're all the way from the US. They have recently launched on ASOS, so they did send me a few new goodies to celebrate that launch. They're actually a brand I've been supporting for years. Some of these products I will have bought myself, other ones would have been gifted. I have noticed that I much prefer the lip crayons to the lipsticks, mostly because I just find them a little bit longer lasting, and I found that the lipstick formulas over time can get a little bit too oily maybe. I don't find that they are very consistent in their consistency over time, but that is probably because they're a clean beauty brand. But I think that is a problem I had with a lot of their older lipsticks rather than any of the newer products. Maybe not enough time's passed, but I actually do think they've reformulated since. But here are a few different shades I've got. They are really hydrating. This one is shade Worth. This is such a gorgeous creamy formula, and I also love the lipsticks. You like pop them and open them like that, so it is a really cool lipstick container. They are a lot more expensive, so whilst MUA were £1.50, these ones are currently £24 on ASOS, so it's a lot more expensive, but they are a lot cleaner, greener, and yeah, the colours they have are absolutely beautiful, and this red is so gorgeous and pigmented, but unfortunately they're not really very long lasting, or at least the lipsticks aren't. I'd say the crayons are a lot more long lasting, but these are really creamy, so if you have dry lips, if you need something very hydrating, the lipsticks are really good. So this is shade Worth. It is that statement red you want. The problem is, if I wear this, I normally wear it on top of a really matte red, so that when this starts to fade off, I've got a really strong red beneath it, and it's not just my lips beneath it. This shade is Fundamental. It is another really gorgeous shade of theirs, but similarly, I just wish they were a little bit longer lasting. But I really love how hydrated my lips do look. It's just frustrating if you're going to be eating, drinking, snogging, I don't know. It's just not going to stand through the night. This is another shade which looks so nice when I'm really tanned as well. Absolutely love it. It's another one which I would wear on top of a very long lasting base lipstick, and then I'd add this on to really get that gorgeous sheen and colour. And then we have this shade which is Virtue, also Axiology, which is another gorgeous shade, just the same issue as the rest of the lipsticks in the sense that it's not that long lasting, but it's still a really gorgeous colour and really hydrating too. But then for the lip crayons, I love these a lot more because I do find them a little bit more pigmented. I find them a bit longer lasting. They're really easy to use, and they screw up and down from the bottom. And this one is in shade Bliss. Despite being a lot more long lasting, they don't feel drying, so this is why I really prefer the lip crayons. I just think they are a much better performing lip product, and they're pretty much the same price as well, so I just really recommend going for the crayon. I don't think they look as cool as the lipstick, but just everything else, yes, they're much better. And in the crayon, I also have the shade Enduring. This one was just sent to me the other day, and I think it's such a universally flattering shade. I think it is really easy to wear, really beautiful, and I think it will become one of my most worn lipsticks. I think it would make a great gift for any friends as well, and you can just find this on ASOS, but like I said, I think it is just a really flattering shade. I think it would suit a variety of different skin tones and women, so really love this one. Next up, back onto the lower end of the price scale, we are going to be looking at e.l.f. I've had a couple of the matte e.l.f. lipsticks for a while. I've also used their liquid matte lipsticks before. I absolutely hated their liquid matte lipsticks, but I quite like these ones, these matte ones. This one in the shade Blushing Brown used to be like my everyday lipstick. I just thought it was so easy to wear, so beautiful. I do love a brown, and it was just very 90s. It's got very lovely thick colour pigment, and it was reasonably long lasting, not like crazy long lasting, just reasonably long lasting, particularly for the price point. These are about £4.50, so I am a big fan of these. I would still probably teeter towards MUA ahead of ELF, just because MUA are cheaper and I think that it's a very similar quality, but I don't think that MUA have a shade quite like this, so I would still reach for this one. As I say, it was blushing brown, and I just love a brown lipstick. This one is just so very 90s and gorgeous and easy to wear. Again, it's quite a nice hydrating formula as well. One thing that I have to say about it though is that it is very sweet. I wouldn't recommend having it when you're going for food or drink or anything, just because it is really sweet, and I found that it can really change how my food and drink tastes. It's like that sweet, so that is one thing that's just quite odd about it. It's just got a really sweet taste to it. It can be nice, but ultimately it's just a bit odd, and definitely something worth knowing before you buy it. It never put me off. I love this shade and I think it really suits me, my like brown hair and brown eyes, so I really love it, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone else who loves a nice brown. Yeah, it's got quite a nice satin finish. I really like this one. I also have a shade of theirs in Ravishing Red. This is such a gorgeous red. Like quite a bold red, but still quite flirty, so I feel like it's perfect for a date where you want that. Again, you've got that lovely satin finish. It doesn't feel overly drying. My lips are starting to feel a bit irritated because I keep rubbing off all this lipstick. But yeah, I think this is another really flattering shade that really adds a boost of confidence about being a really bold red. And I do find that I reach for it every now and again for an evening style look. And sometimes daytime. I really don't reserve reds just for evenings. I just find this one really brightens up the face and just makes you look that bit more confident, but in a more of a sexy way than a like boss babe way. Never doing that again. ELF do have a lot of different lip products. These are quite old lipsticks of theirs now, and I think they've got a lot of new lines as well, so definitely worth checking them out. If you've ever wondered whether or not Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks are worth the money, 100% yes. They are really gorgeous formulas, really lovely to wear, really pigmented, really long lasting. So I do like to buy shades which I really like, really adore in Charlotte Tilbury shades. So Charlotte Tilbury, whilst they are a cruelty-free brand, they are not 100% vegan. They have the Hot Lips collection. So this is from the Hot Lips collection, which is a refillable collection. So the idea was that you'd get some really gorgeous statement lipstick cases, but sadly the design has rubbed off of mine, which I'm really annoyed about, because like I say, it was meant to be refillable and it was meant to last me forever and be really beautiful, and it wasn't cheap either. Yeah, you've got the initial cost, which is one of the lipsticks in a case, and then you've got a reduced cost for the refill part. So it's not plastic free, but it is a big reduction in plastic. It's just a real shame that the design rubbed off when it's meant to be a like collector's edition, meant to be long lasting. But I was using this like every day for a good 2 months because it is just such a beautiful shade. I think it really suits me, and I just wasn't reaching for anything else, and it was also really long lasting, really beautiful. And this is the shade Viva La Pagar, inspired by Sofia Vergara. I just think it looks really gorgeous, makes me feel really confident, really good colour, really nice on the lips, and I adore it. Really love it. So this is Beckham Brown by Charlotte Tilbury. I was lusting after this lipstick for probably 2 years before I bought it. I really do think Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks are really great quality, and I love a brown lipstick, so it was worth me spending a little bit more money and investing in a really nice brown, because it is a shade that I always find myself drawn to, and I think this one really suits me. It suits me a lot better when I'm tanned. I look incredible in this when I've got a tan. Yeah, I really love it. I wear this one quite a lot as well. I feel like over the winter it got really overshadowed by Viva La Pagar, my new one. I really like how bold this is on my lips. I love how long lasting it is. Again, I would say these are really good quality lipsticks. I find that they just feel and look really gorgeous, and I just really love this shade. So whatever you prefer, whether you're a nude girl, a coral girl, a brown girl, purple, whatever, there is a shade there, and I would recommend investing in Charlotte Tilbury. And this shade is also Charlotte Tilbury. It's from the KISSING range, and it is called Coachella Coral, and I think it really brightens up your face. It's such a gorgeous coral shade. By the way, just bear in mind that not all of the lipsticks in the KISSING range or the Matte Revolution range are vegan. Some of them are, some of them aren't, so it's definitely worth checking when you make a purchase. It should be quite clear online if you go down to the ingredients section, or also if you type into search bar vegan, it should separate out the vegan products from the non-vegan products. So that is my top tip for shopping Charlotte Tilbury. Research online first, because I find that shop assistants don't really know, but the shop assistants in store should have iPads which let you check whilst you're in there which product's vegan. That's how that works. But yeah, I really like this Coachella Coral shade. I think it is really nice, another summery shade. This one's a bit more moisturizing, a little bit more like glossy finish. I guess it just makes your lips look really kissable, I guess is the idea. And I think she's achieved it. I just love how this one brightens up your face so much. I feel like it's quite bold without being intimidating, you know? So yeah, I do really, really love this shade. Next up, I have a couple of options for people who prefer liquid matte lipsticks. These are really good for people who want really long lasting pigment, but they can be a little bit drying. Personally, a couple of my favourites for liquid matte lipsticks are Lottie London. They have their Slay All Day range, and I really love this shade called Bleak. But yeah, these can be quite drying. If you've got flaky lips, it will highlight that. But if you want the long lasting colour, I do really love this. And I do think the shade is gorgeous as well. And these are about $5.99, so definitely really affordable. I found other liquid matte lipsticks to be more drying as well, so I would say they're better than most. I do just find that when you are using a liquid matte lipstick, they are going to be a bit drier, but that's how they get to be so long lasting. I think I most often wear a lipstick like this when I am doing like a photo shoot in the shower or somewhere like that, where I'm going to be getting all wet and I still want my lips to have a bit of colour to them. So that's when I'm most likely to use these rather than on a day-to-day purpose, just because they are quite drying. But they are good for dates. Like if you think you're going to get your snog on and you want to maintain your lipstick, these are really, really good for like sticking it out. I've also got this other shade of theirs called Shook, which is a bit more metallic-y, so sometimes I'll use a regular lipstick and I'll dab this on in the centre to get a bit of that like sparkle going, and it just adds a little bit of a dimension to something that otherwise would look a bit dry. So I really like that lip combo, but again, just not for people with dry lips. For those of you who are Kat Von D fans, I think that these formulas are just as good as Kat Von D ones. It's not as broad a shade range, but the cost difference is incredible, so that is why I prefer Lottie London. I'm really going to struggle to get this one off. Next up, I want to take a look at PHB, who are a really ethical brand, and I love their lipsticks and I love the pigment of them, but over time they do dry out, and this one really has. Just trying to draw it on and it's just really dragging, which is such a shame. It's gotten really stiff and really dry, and this is shade Sienna, which is really gorgeous. I have had it for a really long time though, so it's one of those odd products where you actually kind of have to respect the shelf life. I have another shade of theirs here, Plum, which hopefully is going to go on a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. When they're new, they are actually really lovely lipsticks, and this one's got really gorgeous sheen to it. I really love their cocoa shade, I love their sienna shade, I love their cranberry shade. They have some really, really beautiful colours, and I really do recommend them. I think they are beautiful lipsticks, just don't let them get a bit old. All the ones I've tried have this quite reflective quality to them. Mostly I just find it looks really eye-catching and mesmerising. I think they just make your lips look really luscious. I also have a couple of lip glazes of theirs. This one's shade Blossom and this one's shade Cranberry. So whilst this is super, super beautiful, I do find that it's not really long lasting. It's a shame that this doesn't set because it's such a beautiful, beautiful shade, but I wouldn't buy their lip glazes again. I find that their lip glosses are a little bit more long lasting, but again, nothing that great. So it's really quite the shame that it doesn't last longer. I'll show you just how easy it is to get it off. Like that, easy. And it is the same with the other shade Petal. See, another really gorgeous shade, really reflective, really beautiful. Looks really lovely in photos, but again, practically it just doesn't last very long. Once it sets, it still doesn't last ages, so it's just a real shame. I feel like I really haven't sold this company to you guys. They are hugely, hugely ethical. They work hard to make sure that their ingredients are sustainably sourced and responsibly sourced, ethically sourced. If you are looking for something a little bit kinder to the world, I would recommend their lipsticks. Just they work best when they're fresh. And that first one I showed you was a really old product and isn't very fair representation because it is out of date. I'm going to quickly show you guys a couple of products from the Be Superdrug range. One of them is actually my favourite bold red, so if I'm going out in the evening and I want a red that's really going to last, it's actually this one from Superdrug that I go to because it is one of the most long-lasting red lipsticks I've come across, and it lasts really well throughout the evening. I still do top it up, but I find that it always leaves the tint behind when it starts to disappear, so it's not like a sudden removal of colour. It slowly removes itself, and it's beautiful colour as well. But sometimes I'll layer on one of the Axiology ones on top of this if I want a slightly different shade of red, but this one's called Boom Shakalaka, and I feel like that's very apt for it. It's just very bold, very playful, and I really love this red. I got this lipstick gifted as well. I think these lipsticks are roughly £7 and I never would have trusted a lipstick like that, particularly in a red shade, to have the same power this one does. I was so blown away that I went out and bought a couple more shades. One of them was called Fro, and that's a really gorgeous pink, but it broke. And I just want to point out Superdrug do have a 100% happiness guarantee, so I could take that product back to the shops and get a brand new one because I'm guaranteed happiness with their own brand products. However, instead I did melt it down and turn it into a like lip balm. And then we have this shade Jinxed, which is another kind of like everyday-ish brownish sort of shade, which I really enjoy. And I wore this one quite a lot when I first got it, but it's very similar to a lot of my other shades, so I don't reach for it so much anymore. It's not very moisturising. I wouldn't say it's particularly dry on the lips, but if you do suffer with dry lips, you might want to avoid these ones, but that is how they are so long lasting. They do kind of like dry onto your lips. I really do think vegan lipsticks have come a long way. Back in the day, they were often really bad because the lipstick industry seemed to rely so much on beeswax to give lipstick a really good glide. Whereas now I think brands are really used to using vegan alternatives to create good products, and you can really tell the difference in lipstick formulas now compared to 5-10 years ago where they really weren't there. I think I'm going to end this video on a Lush lipstick. So if you haven't seen the Lush lipsticks, they do refillable lipsticks, and I've got a whole video on how you do that, but that means that these are plastic free and zero waste, so you can just get one of their canisters, which are £8, or you can bring in your own empty canister and you can fill that up with one of the lipstick refills from Lush. This one here is actually a Christmas shade of theirs called Lapland, but they have lots of really beautiful shades, and you can see me try on a couple of them in the video I'm recommending over here, where you can learn a little bit more about their refillable lipsticks. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Lush. If you want something good for the environment, good for the planet, definitely head to Lush, and I really love their lipsticks. They are really long lasting, really hydrating, just incredible quality. I'd put them kind of like up there with Charlotte Tilbury, but they're only £10 a lipstick as long as you've got a canister to put it in. And see, doesn't it look lovely? I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope I've given you a real insight into the world of vegan lipsticks. Please do hit like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video and if you've learned something new. And until next time, bye! Hey ya!
You're going now, if you want to come.
Still filming, I'm afraid.
No worries. Bye, see ya.
Bye!
Oh, do you want takeaway tonight or not?
Oh, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, curry.
Oh, curry, not Chinese?
Well, I don't know.